Hello once again, welcome to our lesson tutorial for SDA. For today we are going to discuss the formula and functions of Microsoft Excel. This is a continuation of our previous lesson based on our uploaded video. So today I'm going to show you the different kinds of definitions based on the different the formulas and functions. I'm going to show you a little bit of example, and after that one I'm going to demonstrate how are we going to use the following formula and function. Okay, so please take note and learn about our lesson today. So we're going to discuss about the formula. I'm going to show you the definition. Formula is an expression that operates on the values in a range of cells or a cell. So we're going to do the formula inside the cell. For example, we started with an equal sign together with the A1 plus A2 plus A3. So this is an example of a formula. Okay. Then we can also use the formula using the ranges of cell. For example, A1 colon A3. So that means we are using the reference operator, which is the colon, A1 to A3, which finds the sum of the range of values from the cell A1 up to the cell A3. So function. What is function? Functions are predefined formulas in Excel. They eliminate the voice manual entry of formulas while giving them human-friendly names. So we have here an example: equal, sum, A1 to A3. So here we use also the reference operator, which is the colon. The function sums all the values from A1 to A3. So what is the difference between the formula and function? So as you can see here, the formula, it doesn't have any word before the range of cell, while here in the function we uses the word sum before we calculate the values inside the A1 up to A3. So the word sum here is the function itself. Okay? Next, we're going to use the syntax, or we're going to learn about the syntax. What is syntax? Okay? Syntax refers to the structure and order of a formula, including functions, references, operators, and parameters. So the syntax, this is the proper order of the things that you are going to place inside the close and open parentheses in order for the Microsoft Excel to return the correct value. If our syntax is wrong, then the value that will be returned is either in error or in fault. So make sure that we are going to use the correct syntax when we are going to write a formula or a function inside the close and open parentheses. So later on, you will know what is the syntax. Syntax always appear when you are going to write a function, but it does not appear if you write a formula. So here we have the function if. When we write if, it shows us the syntax of the things that we need to place inside the close and open parentheses. So first here is the logical test. When you say logical test, this is the condition. Then we have the return value if true and the return value if false. So later on we will see how to use this one, and we will understand more about it. Next, merging of cells. Okay. What is merging of cells? Merging of cells, this is the combination of two or more to create a new larger cell. Now I'm going to show it to you. So for example, these two cells here, we have B8 and BC. So these are two separated cells. If you want to merge this one, just select two cells, then go to the top here, follow the mouse pointer, then click merge across. As you can see now, we have already one big cell. Now what happened to the address of the cell? The address of the cell, if you have noticed here at the upper left of your screen, the cell name is B8. When you are going to combine cells, it always follow the first name of the first cell that being combined. So we uses the B8. It uses the B8 as its address. Why? Because the first cell is found in B8. Okay? So that is for merging of cells. Next, range. When we talk about range, it determines where you started and where you are going to end. For example, here in our example, we have a range of A1 up to G1. So when you use a range, of course, we are going also to use the um, the operator, which is a range operator, which is the colon. As you can see here, we place a colon in the middle of A1 and G1. So the Microsoft Excel understands this one, that you are trying to locate the value, or you are selecting the cells from A1 up to the G1. Okay, so to understand that one, so understand that one, A1 to G1, so this is the A1, this is the G1. So when you press A1 to G1, the Microsoft Excel will select this one. Okay, for example, equals A1 colon G1. As you can see here, it shows the A1 to G1, and if you focus on the top, it is selecting the cells from A1 up to the G1. So that is an example of range. So instead of writing A1, B1, C1, D1, E1, F1, and G1, to minimize the laborious work, you must use the reference or the range, which is the reference operator colon. In order to minimize your work, just select the A1 to G1. So you don't have to write all the addresses of the cell from A1 up to G1. So it is like a shortcut key. Okay. Next, criteria. What is criteria? When we say criteria, this is the condition. So when we follow the syntax, in the previous example that we have in syntax, it shows first the logical test. Okay? The logical test is the criteria. We are going to place the criteria here so that the Microsoft Excel will be able to understand what is the condition in order for it to write the word, or to return the value if true, and to return the value if false. Here, in our situation right now, the value if true is the word passed, and the value if false is the word failed. So the condition here is if A1 is greater than or equal to 75, the Microsoft Excel will return the value of, or will return a true result of passed. And if it is not under the condition, if it has greater than or equal to 75, then it will return the value failed. Okay, so we follow the correct syntax, which is the logical test, the value if true, and the value if false, because the criteria, it defines the condition that tells the function which cells to count, and in return it can be a number, a text, string, cell reference, or expression. Okay, so later on we're going to learn more about this one as we expound this into a different kinds of example. Okay, next, now let us talk about the basic functions in order for us to understand the deeper knowledge about the Microsoft Excel. Okay, first we're going to discuss about the sum. Sum is defined as a function that adds a range of cells. So this is the example. We always start with equal sign, then we write the function, then we follow the syntax. The syntax is number 1, number 2, or the range. So how are we going to do that one? So here, you can see in your screen, we have different kinds of data. We have the student number, we have the first name of the student, the family name of the student, the age, the sex, the strand, the grade level, and the grade. So for now, we are going to use sum. For example, our situation talks about, or the problem that we are going to solve is, what is the total age of the students, of all the students? So what is the age of all the students, the total age? So we're going to look up on the column D, because here it is placing, or it is showing us the grade, or the age of all the students. So we're going to use the sum. Then, as you can see here at the bottom, it shows us the correct syntax. So our problem is we are going to use, or to total all the age of the student. So just select the column from D2 up to the D6. So we can also do this one, D2, okay, plus D3, so on and so forth up to the D6. But it is very laborious work, so we will just use the range using the colon operator up to the D6, close parenthesis, then enter. So as you can see, we have already the total of 86. We already total all the age of the student in this row. Okay, let me show you again the correct order of syntax and array. Okay, sum D2 D6. And next, we're going to discuss about average. So what is average? Average is a function that gets the average of range of cell. Okay, so what is the formula for range? Of course, we are going to total all the numbers, then divided by the number of itself. So that is the average of getting the average. So this is the example of average. So we're going to do this one. And so for example, we're going to solve the problem. What is the average of all the grade of the students? So we're going to look at the column H, because here it is written all the grades of the student. So what is the average? So just we start with the average, equal sign, average, open parenthesis, then select all the range. Why we selected all the range? Because the problem states that all the grade of the students. If it is only specifying a specific number of students, then we will also modify which are the numbers that can be selected. But here our problem is we're going to solve the average of all the grades of all the students. So we started with the first grade, which is the 95, found in H2 up to the last grade, which is in H6, close parenthesis, enter. Okay, so we have an average of 91.4. So if we are going to check that one, we can also use this one, getting the average, equals sum, open parenthesis, you select that one, okay, then it will total all the average, the grade. So we have a total of 457. So how are we going to get the average? So we are going to add here, divided by, how many numbers is one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Enter. And we have the same result, which is the 91.4. We have also here 91.4. So which is better? Writing this kind of function or writing this kind of function? Okay? So for me, it is very easy to use average than to use the sum. Why? Because the average function automatically solve the average without dividing itself. While here, using the sum function, we need to divide it by itself. Okay? So it's up to you which is better, depends on the situation. Okay, let's proceed with the next. Next is count. Okay, what is count? Count, a function used to count the cells with content in range. It means that it will only count all the cells that have a value, either a text or a number. So this is the example of how we will use the count, equals count, then we enter the value. So here, for example, the problem is we are going to count all the cells that has the student number. How many cells that contains the student number? So we are going to write equals count, open parenthesis, then we select here. Why we selected the A? Because here in A2 up to the A6, here it is written, or it shows the student number. Close parenthesis, then enter. So why does it show us the result, the value of 5? Why does it show us the value of 5? Because the value of 5 reflects the number of cells that has a value. So if we are going to erase here one cell, then automatically it became 4. Why? Because it is only 4 cells that has contained, or it contains the value. The last column has no value at all. Okay, so if we're going to write again here a value, then when we press enter, then it became 5 again. Okay, that is the purpose of the function count. It will always count all the cells that has content. Okay, that has the content. Okay, so we're going to delete this one. Let's proceed with next. Mean. What does it mean by mean? So the mean is a function that returns or finds the lowest number in range. So if you are going to look for the lowest number in different kinds of range of cell, you use the function mean. How are we going to do that one? For example, we are going to look for the lowest grade of all the students. So we're going to look at the cell H. So what is the lowest grade? Then we will write the formula equals mean, select all the cells that contains the grade, then enter. As you can see, it returns the value of 87. Why 87? Because 87 here is the lowest grade. Okay? So that is for the mean function. Next, max. Max is the opposite of mean. If you are going to look for the largest number, then we use the max. Okay? So what we are going to do here is just edit this one into max. What will happen if we are going to press the enter? It will return the largest grade of the student. Okay? So as you can see, it returns the value of 95 because here 95 is the greatest or the largest number or the grade. So that is for max. That means maximum, and min stands for minimum. Okay? Next, median. So if the mean returns the lowest value and the max returns the largest value, the median returns the middle value. So the same formula, the same syntax, it's just this different function. So equals median, open parentheses. Let's say we are going to look for the middle or the middle grade of all the grades of all the students. So just select the cell, close parentheses, and enter. As you can see, the middle grade is 93. From 87 up to 95, the middle grade, the median grade is 93. This is how we use the median function. Okay. Next, if. Okay. Starting from now, we will be talking about a little bit of complicated function. If. The if function is a pre-made function in Excel which returns values based on a true or false condition. So it depends on what condition you are going to place inside the function if. Okay? So this is the example. We have the function if. It follows by an open parenthesis. Then the logical test, which means the condition. Then if the condition is met, then it will return the true value. If the condition is not met, then it will return the false value. So we need to place a return value of true and return value of false. If. Okay, so let us do this one. If. And let's say for example, if the grade of the student, okay, so we are going to determine if the student is a honor student or not an honor student based on his or her grade. Okay, so we're going to place here equals if. Okay, so what average you need to have in order for you to enter the honor list? Of course, that is 90. So our condition is that the average of the student must be 90 and above. If, okay, so let us look at this one. H2, we start with the first student. H2 is greater than or equal. Okay, so why we use greater than or equal? Because we will consider the grade 90. Okay, if we will just write here greater than 90, so it will start with the number 91. Okay, because greater than 90. But if we write here greater than 90 or equal to 90, okay, so this is our condition. It follows by comma, space. What is the value if true? Okay, honor student, close parenthesis, close quotation mark, comma. So we have, this is the value. If the condition is met, it will return the value honor student. But if the condition is not met, then it will return the value not honor student, close quotation mark and close parenthesis. Remember, the value of true and the value of false must be placed inside a quotation mark. Okay? Because we are telling the Microsoft Excel that you are going to reflect this one if you have met the condition, and you are going to reflect this one if the condition is not met. That's why we place it inside the close and open quotation mark. So enter. So as you can see, it returned the value honor student. Why? Because the grade here is 95. So what will happen if we are going to change here the grade? We will change the grade here as 89. Okay, let's say 89. Enter. As you can see, it automatically changed the status into not honor students because it does not met our condition with the grade greater than or equal to 90, because the grade here is just 89. Okay? So this is the syntax, and this is the example of the if value. Okay, next, let's talk about sum if. A while ago, we discussed about the sum, which total all the values within the range of cell. Here, we are going to have the sum if. It is not just sum, but we have also if. It means we are going to tally all the values within the range of the cell if it meets the condition. So we are going to combine the sum and the if already. Okay? So here equals sum if. Okay? Open parentheses. As you can see, the syntax here is already reflected. First is the range, second is the criteria, then the sum range. Okay, so let's say for example we are going to total all the grade of the students that are only UMS students. Okay, so when we select all the grades, for example here, if we select all the grades here, it will only total the grades of the 2 UMS students. Then it will disregard the ABM and the STEM. Okay, so we will use the sum if equals sum if open parenthesis range. Okay, range. So what is the range? Remember, the range, it follows by criteria. So that means where is the range that we are going to look for the criteria? So we are going to select the strand because our criteria is UMS. So the UMS is placed inside the column F, F2 to F6, comma. So what is our criteria? Our criteria is UMS students, so that it will only solve all the grades of the UMS students. So you write here UMS, close quotation mark. Remember, your spelling must be always correct, and it will always follow what is written inside the range of cell that you are trying to select. Okay, comma. So here after that one we write comma. That means that we are ending our syntax. Then we will write again the next syntax. Okay, so next is the sum range. It is asking us where is the values that I'm going to select and solve. So that the Excel is trying to tell us that one. So we are going to solve the grades. Here in column H, the grades are being written. So we will select the range of H2 to H6, close quotation mark, close parentheses, okay? Enter. Yeah. So as you can see, it gives us a total of 176 because it only totaled the grades of 8 of the UMS students, which is 89 and 87. Then it disregarded the 93, 94 and 88. Okay, what will happen if we were going to change this one to 95? As you can see, this one also changed because the grade here was updated. Okay, so how are we going to check if it reflects the correct output? Okay, let us just do this one. Equals 95 plus 87. Enter. So as you can see, it returns the correct value, 182. So the output here, 182, is correct. Okay, so this is the example of sum if. Okay, take note. Next, we'll do the average if. The average if is almost the same with sum if. It's just that it will total the average. If it follows the condition, it will total the average. The same with sum if. It will total all the values if it follows the condition. So because the average if is a function used by the Excel which calculates the average of the range based on the true or false condition. So equals average if. Okay? So let's say we're going to get the average of the ABM students only. The average grade of the ABM students. Okay? So first here, the syntax is the same. We have range, then we have criteria, then we have average range. Average if we select the range in which we are going to look for the criteria. So first is we are going to look if it is an ABM student or not. So what column are we going to look at? It is the column F. Okay? Comma. So what is our condition? It must be an ABM student. So we're going to write here ABM. Close quotation mark, comma. Then next it is asking us where it will be looking for the grade of the ABM students. So the grades are written here in column H. Okay? So here H2 to H6. Close parenthesis. Okay. Enter. So when we enter this one, it must return the value that total all the grades of 88 plus 93 divided by 2. Why divided by 2? Because we have only 2 ABM students. Okay, this is Mark and Angel. Okay, so enter. So we've got 90.5. Do we have a correct output? Okay, let's try to solve this one. Equals, the first grade of ABM student here is 93 plus the second grade of the ABM student is 88. So we're going to do this one, place that one inside the parentheses because Microsoft Excel is following the PEMDAS or MDAS process of solving. Okay, so divided by 2. Why 2? Because we only solve for 2 ABM students. Enter. So as you can see, it returns 90.5. So our value here in average if is correct. Okay, so this is the example of average if function. Okay? And as you can see here, do not be confused because it will always show you the correct syntax of how to use the function. Range, criteria, and average range. Okay. So next is we will discuss about count if. It is the same with sum if and average if. It is just we use the count. It means it will only count if it follows the correct condition. Okay, for example, equals count if. Okay, now let's say we are going to count how many male, or let's say how many female students enrolled in our class. So as you can see here, we have 5 students, 3 female and 2 male. Okay, so it must return the value of 3 because there are only 3 females. So how are we going to use the count if? First is the range. So where is the column that states about the sex of the students? So we have here the column E. So we start with column 2, E2 and E6, comma. Then what is the criteria or condition? So we're going to count female students only. So right here, female. Okay, once again, make sure that the spelling inside your criteria is the same with the spelling inside in your selected range of cell. Okay, enter. So as you can see here, it returns the value of 3 because there are only 3 female students. What if the other students became male? Let's say this is a typo error, then the data was changed. Okay, Maria Ace is a male, so we're going to change the data male. When press enter, as you can see here, it automatically changed the number 2 because there are only 2 remaining female students. So that is for count if. Okay, that's for count if. Next, let's talk about count blank. Okay, from the word itself, because the functions are very user friendly, from the word itself you can already understand that this function will only count the cells that are blank. When we say blank, that means it has no value at all, either text or either numbers. As long as the cell is blank, then it will count the cell that are in range. Okay, so for example, here we're going to select all the grades of the student. Here, let us say how many students that has no grade yet. Okay, maybe their teachers was not able yet to give them the grades. So we're going to locate how many students don't have their grade yet. So we use the count blank, count equals count blank, open parenthesis. Remember class, I am showing you capital letters or capital spelling here because the Microsoft Excel is also giving us an example to use the capital letter. So even though it is okay to use the small letters, but to minimize the error, we must always use capital letters in writing our functions. Okay, so let's proceed. Count blank, we select all the grades of the student, then close parenthesis, enter. So it returns the value of 0. Why? Because all the students have already grade. So if you are going to delete the grade of Mosh Angel, as you can see here, the number became 1 because there are one student that has no grade yet, and that is Mosh Angel. Okay, so if her grade was being input by the teacher, let's say the grade is 88, enter. So the value here became 0 because all the students have already grade. Okay, so this is applicable in all the cells. So if we are going to select all these cells and we will count how many cells that has no value, still we will use the count blank. We will just change the range of cell here inside the close and open parentheses. Okay, so that is for count blank. Next is we have count A. What is count A? Count A is an Excel formula that counts the number of cells containing numbers, text, logical values, error values, and empty text. So empty cells will be ignored. So this is the opposite of count blank. If count blank is counting all the cells that are blank, then count A will count all the cells that has a value. It doesn't matter if it is a number or a text or logical values. As long as it has a value, then it will count the cells. So it is very opposite. Let's just change, say this is count, just change this one into count A. Alright, count A. So as you can see, it returns the value of 5. Why? Because from H2 up to H6, it has all the values. So we have 5 cells that has values, so it returns also the value 5. If you are going to delete this one, it will return the value of 4. Why? There are only 4 remaining cells that has value. Okay? So that is for count A. So the same with count blank, we can also use that one in different kinds of ranges of cell. It depends on the situation, what you are trying to count. Okay? Just select the range and write the proper function. Then the Excel will solve it for you. Okay? So next, concatenate. I think this is the last function that we are going to learn for this session. Concatenate means it will join the 2 or more text items together. Okay, so for example, here we're going to write here Juan, and here is De La Cruz. Okay. Juan de la Cruz. Now, we want to combine Juan and de la Cruz in this cell. Okay, in this cell. So, we are going to use the function concatenate. So, how are we going to use that one? Just do the equals concatenate. Okay, concatenate, open parenthesis. Just select this one. Okay, just select the cells that do you want to combine, comma, then select De La Cruz, then close parenthesis, enter. So as you can see here, it is already combined, Juan de la Cruz. But right, as you can see, the word Juan is already is sticking with the word de la. Okay, so we need to place a space between these two words because this is a name. So it must be Juan space de la Cruz. Okay, so what we're going to do is concatenate B8, comma. So we are going to place a reference operator which is a space. So how are we going to place the space? Just write the open quotation mark, space, open quotation mark, comma. Okay, so that means B8 Juan plus space plus de la Cruz. Okay, again it will become Juan plus space plus de la Cruz. Enter. So as you can see here, it combined already, Juan plus space de la Cruz. So if you have a lot of names that you need to combine, for example here, Piolo, Pascual. Okay, next here we have Kenji, Cute. Okay, so you don't have to write again the formula here. What we are going to do is we will use the fill handle. If you still remember, in our previous lesson, we discussed that we can use the drag and drop effect of the fill handle to follow the format, which is the first format that we have written inside the cell. So just use the fill handle here. Okay, when your mouse pointer changes into a black cross sign, that means you are already focusing on the fill handle. Just press, hold, drag and drop. Okay, when we're going to release this one, okay, as you can see, it combines Piolo and Pascual, became Piolo Pascual, Kenji and Cute became Kenji Cute. Okay, so it just follow the correct order or the pattern of our formula that we have written on the first cell. Okay, so here it is the same. Okay, so that is for concatenate. That is for example for our concatenate. And we can use the function concatenate in different kinds of situation. It depends if we're trying to combine addresses, names, numbers. It depends. Okay, so I think this is the last. Okay, this is the last function that we have. Okay, let us review the function that we have learned today. Okay, so the functions that we have learned today are, okay, first we have what? We have the sum. Okay, then we have also what? We have the average. Then we have also the mean. We have also the max. We discuss also about the median. Okay? We discuss about the if. Then we discuss about the sum if, average if. We also discuss about the count if. Okay? Then we also discuss about the count. Okay? Okay? We will change here black, color black. The count. We have also count A. Okay? We have also the concatenate. Okay. I think these are all the functions, the basic functions that we have learned for our session for today. Sum, average, mean, max, median, if, sum if, average if, count A, and concatenate. Okay, so then maybe, okay, if you want to learn more about different kinds of functions, you can always explore and research and learn. So the pattern is almost the same as long as you will stick to the correct array, to the correct criteria, to the correct syntax. Then you can use the different kinds of functions properly. It depends on what you are trying to do. So next time you try to solve different kinds of problems using the different kinds of functions. Try to determine what kind of functions you are trying to use. Depends on the situation. Okay, let's review a little bit. Let's review. We have concatenate. Okay, then we started with the sum. Okay, the sum is a function that adds the range of cell. Then we discuss about the average. It gets the average which is in the range of cell. We have the count that counts all the cells within the range. Okay? Then we have the mean that returns the lowest number. We have also the max function that returns the highest number. We have also the median which returns the middle number. And we have the if that uses the logical, which is the condition. Then we have the sum if, average if, the count if, the count blank, count A, and we have also the concatenate. Okay, I think we have the count blank. We forgot to write here the count blank. So we're going to write that one here. Count blank. Okay, remember the functions are always in one word. They are not separate words. Right? For example, here the count and the blank sticks with each other. Okay, this is a compound word. Okay, so I think that's all for our lesson, for our session for today. I hope that you have learned. Always review our video. If you have questions, then you can always explore to answer your different kinds of query. Always practice, because practice makes almost perfect. Goodbye and God bless everyone.